Okay, so today I want to demonstrate how to tie a tomato plant, how to trim the bottoms of the tomato plants to help the tomato plants grow taller and get more fruits. So, well, here we go. So as you see, you have different extensions of the tomato plant. They're hanging down. You don't want that, because what happens is these right here are fruit. They're going to sag down, and you have to keep them from coming down to let the fruit grow better. So even though there's sometimes where they get left out and you just tie them together because it's just the way the plant goes. Some plants grow taller and thinner. Some plants grow bushy. So this one looks like it's kind of in between. This one's a mystery plant. I lost the tag for when I did it, so this is kind of a mystery plant. But judging by what I'm seeing by the tomatoes, those could be a San Marzano. So, all right, so here we go. So what I'm looking for down on the bottom is I'm looking for the stalks to be tight up against my pin here. So, because what will happen is, and I learned the hard way through the years, is that this sometimes will fall down, and then you can ruin the tomato plant pretty badly. So,
will they die if they do that?
They will die. This section from wherever it's bent, it'll bend down, up, will just die off, and you lose all the fruit. You lose your tomatoes right here, see? Now, we're also trying to expose these tomatoes too, because, you know, you want them to get some sun. They turn redder quicker when they get more sun. You know, they're at the point now where they're mature enough to go into the sun. So, all right, so I like to use these clips. Now, there's sometimes where these clips got to be put together like this, or just one like that. Goes around the pin and then it opens up. So my grandfather used to use old t-shirts and socks, and he used to rip them apart, and then he would tie them like that. But you know, obviously that was years ago when we found an easier way with this. So we already have one down there. So let's start here with getting the stalk closer to this rod here to prevent it to go sliding down. All right, so we're gonna take this one off now. So you're thinking, okay, I just took one off that can possibly have fruit. Yes, I did, but what I'm taking off though are, some people call them suckers, you know, some people call them leeches, but you know, I just like to take them off. Again, what you're doing is you're promoting the plant to go upwards, not downwards. You want the plant to get a little taller because it'll produce more fruit. So,
Will
again,
the plant concentrate more on the fruit that's already on the tree, on the bush?
Correct, absolutely. It'll concentrate more on the fruit that's already on the tomato plant, and then start working its way up. And as they work it up, you continue to trim downwards. So, all right. So what I do with this is I'll put it down here and I let it rot out, and it becomes, you know, natural fertilizer. So we got this one right here. We're going to trim that off. And again, you know, I do this with my hands. I would recommend, if you're going to do this, don't do it with your hands. Find cutters. I just been doing it for a long time, so I know. And you see what it's doing now, it's exposing more tomatoes, more of the plant. You take these middle ones out too, and it becomes...
How do you choose which ones over which ones not to do when they're hanging down?
I choose the ones that are hanging down typically like this, because they're weighing them down. It pulls them down. So I'll take those off, and then I'm going to tie this up. You'll see, we'll demonstrate that in a second. All right, so here. And also, I planted basil on this side, and we don't want those tomato plants to choke out the basil. All right.
So would this be one?
Yes, this stalk will be taken off. You're learning. So again, so now I'm going to start tying. So I already have a 2-1 here, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this one, and then just, well, and sometimes the clips break. If they stay out too long, the clips sometimes break. It's not abnormal for that to happen. So, But again, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to clip it around like that, keeping the tomato plant. And as we're going, you know, we want to get the tomato plant as tight as possible. Sometimes these suckers will make it so you can't. So you break those off, and you break this one off. And we got this one here. Now we have better access to get the clip in here and to get the tomatoes closer to the rod. So also, you have to be careful too with how close you get the stalk with fruit on it, because, you know, this fruit has to have room to grow. So, you know, I'm going to want to probably want to pull those out a little bit, just like that, and then it'll give them room to grow. So we're going to continue down here.
And just because those are plastic, you use those from year to year.
You can use those for year to year. We can use these from year to year. But again, some of them break apart because if they've been out too long, and, you know, they're pretty cheap. You can get them from Amazon for $15 for 300 of them. But, you know, sometimes they go quick. I tied about 50 tomatoes a couple days ago, and I used one bag. So, and a lot of them you use two. For example, here, watch. We got to use two on this one to get that stalk up there. So